friends. I hope you're doing well, and I hope your loved ones are doing well. So, for tonight's video, I thought it would be fun to write a little short story using trigger words, common trigger words. So I wrote a little short story, and hopefully it's not too cringe. One Tuesday, I went to visit my grandmother. As I walked in the door, I heard pans clinking and bags crinkling. I stopped briefly to scratch Honeycomb, the orange cat behind her ears. She purred at me in appreciation as I continued to the kitchen. The sound of Grandma humming to herself floated to me as I rounded the corner. She was measuring ingredients into a large bowl. Just a little bit of this and just a little bit of that, she murmurs to herself. She spots me and her eyes crinkle at the corners as she grins at me. Hey Gran, what you making? I ask, planting a kiss on her cheek. She smiles slyly. Chocolate chip, of course. I know they're your favorite. My heart swells at the small gesture. I watch her as she mixes everything together, adding little bits of this and little bits of that. When everything is mixed, she adds a whole bag of semi-sweet chocolate chips. She slowly spoons the sticky cookie dough onto a baking sheet covered in parchment paper and then pops it into the oven to bake. Turning to me, Gran asks if I want a cup of coffee. You know your dad bought me that new espresso machine, she reminds me. Soon we are both sitting in the living room with our lattes while the cookies cool on the counter. Honeycomb is napping in a sunbeam on the floor. How's your latte? Gran asks as we take our first sips. Perfection, I sighed happily. Only one thing would make this better. Standing and heading to the kitchen, I grab one of Gran's decorative plates and pile the fresh, warm cookies on top. On the way back, I take a bite of the warm, ooey gooey goodness. Delectable. I set the plate on the coffee table between us and snatch up my coffee. Gran bites into a cookie and nonchalantly asks, "What are you doing in 2 weeks?" The usual: work, volunteering at the animal shelter. Why? She stared into her cup of coffee nervously. Well, my friend and I were going on a cruise to Mexico. Unfortunately, she had an accident and broke her clavicle. So now I have no traveling companion. I feel terrible being upset about this when my friend has a broken clavicle. I'm sure she's disappointed too. out my latte. Grant, are you asking me to go on a cruise with you? Maybe. If I am, is the answer yes? You do have a passport, don't you? Yes. Yes, you have a passport, or yes, you will come to Mexico with me. Yes to both, I say, stuffing the rest of the cookie in my mouth. Gran squeals in delight. You should send your friend flowers, I say. Yes, she quickly agrees. 2 weeks later, Gran and I stepped onto the cruise ship wearing sundresses and floppy hats. This massive ship would be our home for the next week, and we were giddy with excitement. After we got settled in our room, we decided to explore. There were several restaurants, a spa, a casino, a movie theater, a live show theater, 2 pools, a water slide, and of course, a club for dancing. We made a beeline for the spa for manicures and pedicures. Gran chose neon green with pink palm trees. I decided aqua with gold sparkly accents. Next, we headed to the deck bar for a couple margaritas while we watched the ocean glide by. That was our first day at sea. The next day, we arrived at Cozumel. We helped each other apply coconut-scented sunscreen before descending the plank to head to the beach. The breeze was balmy and welcoming as we laid out our towels and set to the hard task of relaxing in the sun. When lunch rolled around, we went to the market and bought street tacos and Mexican Coke. Then, with full bellies, we discovered what secrets the exotic market held. Days 3 and 4 passed in much the same way, spending the day at the beach and wandering the market, discovering treasures and eating delicious food. At length, it was time to return home, but we would never forget our trip to Mexico. I hope you guys enjoyed this little short story that I wrote very quickly for you guys, but I thought it would be more entertaining than just saying trigger words by themselves. I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you in the next one. Love you guys.